Tucker. Number 17, Julianne Bell. And number 18, Alyssa Brown. Now, ladies and gentlemen, University of Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles starting lineup. Batting first and playing at second base, number 11, Claire Johnson. Batting second, designated player, number 3, Jennifer Lenhart. Batting third and playing in left, number 1, Alicia Webb. Hitting fourth and playing in center, number 4, Caitlin Bradley. Batting fifth, right fielder, number 5, Allison Schubert. Hitting sixth, first baseman, number 24, Haley Schaus. Batting seventh, at shortstop, number 21, Taylor Ricketts. Hitting eighth, third baseman, number 22, Mary Bean. And batting ninth and catching, number 6, Lindsey Marr. Pitching from the University of Southern Indiana is number 14, Haley Smith. The head coach of the Screaming Eagles is Sue Kunkel. Assistant coach, Mackenzie Dorsum. And graduate assistant, Lexi Reese. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the Grand Valley State Lakers. First, the Laker non-starters. Number 5, Kayla Plastiak. Number 8, Caitlin Blazitsky. Number 10, Rachel Terwilliger. Number 11, Hannah Beatis. Number 13, Taylor Sigorski. Number 15, Madeline Nelson. Number 16, Samantha Girls. Number 17, Hannah Deek. Number 20, Joanna Sorenzione. And number 22, Jenna Lee Light. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the Lakers starting lineup. Batting first and playing in center field, number 6, Kaylee Reiner. Hitting second and playing at second, number 2, Taylor Rieger. Batting third baseman, number 9, Lydia Noble. Hitting fourth and playing at first, number 1, Nicola Holman. Batting fifth, designated player, number 3, Kelsey Latour. Hitting sixth, left fielder, number 12, Bailey Thatcher. Batting seventh, right fielder, number 4, Brooke Henning. Batting eighth, catcher, number 7, Morgan Wagner. And hitting ninth, shortstop, number 19, Shannon Flaherty. Pitching for the Lakers, number 18, Allison Lepovsky. The head coach of Grand Valley State is Dana Callahan. Assistant coaches, Jen Rivera and Aaron Daldis. Graduate assistant, Jesse Ramos. Ladies and gentlemen, the umpires for today's game. At first base, Tony Sullivan. At third base, Mark Vandermogen. And behind the plate, Rick Havercroft. Our fourth umpire, Victor Sina. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad. And now, please join in the singing of our national anthem.
Well, to be the best, you have to beat the best, and that's a situation that Grand Valley's softball team is facing today as we move into the second round of the NCAA Division II Women's Softball Tournament here in Allendale, Michigan. The host side, the number 1 seed, playing on its home field today against a team that ousted it from the national championship last year, the Screaming Eagles of Southern Indiana, who then went on to win the national title. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to West Michigan. We're at the softball field at Grand Valley. Today it's sunny but a good bit cooler than yesterday when we had rain and actually warmer temperatures later in the afternoon. But conditions are still pretty good for the teams that are taking part in this portion of the regional here in West Michigan. It's Grand Valley trotting its ace out again, Allison Lepofsky, against a team that she had some misfortune against last year. Grand Valley lost a tough one-run ball game last year in the championship contest against Southern Indiana. But the Screaming Eagles look just a bit different today than yesterday when they were able to knock off Wayne State in their opening game. Grand Valley beat Hillsdale 6-1. But in this game today against Grand Valley, a change for Sue Kunkel and her squad as they go to Haley Smith on the mound against Grand Valley. We thought we might see Jen Leonard, the ace of the staff who pitched yesterday, but with the quick turnaround, Kunkel making the determination that her team will be best served by having Smith out there at least to start. Grand Valley has an unchanged lineup from yesterday when it jumped out early to score 5 runs in the first 4 innings in knocking off Wayne State. So we're about ready to go for this one. The umpires today, Rick Havercroft behind the plate, Tony Sullivan at first base. Mark Van Maldigan is the third base umpire in this one. And Grand Valley puts Lepofsky in the circle to face the dangerous Claire Johnson here first in the opening inning as we get set to go. The first of what should be 3 games here today in Allendale. This is the winner's bracket right now. The 2 winners yesterday play this one. After that, at about 1:30, it'll be Wayne State and Hillsdale. And then the loser of this game will play the winner of the second game in the final game of the afternoon. So Lepofsky not wearing a long sleeve shirt under her jersey, ready to deal against Claire Johnson, who's swinging at the first pitch and sends that one straight back to the screen. Grand Valley today on the infield has Lydia Goebel, the freshman of the year from the GLIAC, at third. Shannon Flaherty, the senior, at short. Taylor Rieger at second. Nicoma Holman at first base. In the outfield, Bailey Thatcher, Kaylee Reiner in center, Brooke Henning at right. And behind the plate is the young player Morgan Wagner, and that's a base hit that kind of fooled Bailey Thatcher out there in left field to start the ball game. So Johnson, we got things going yesterday in Southern Indiana's game-winning rally in the 6th inning. Scored the first and ultimately the winning run in that contest. Is on with a single. That ball was held up by a very strong breeze, and Thatcher got a little bit of a late start. This is yesterday's winning pitcher, the designated player in this game, Jen Leonard, batting from the left side in the number 2 slot for Southern Indiana. Grand Valley expecting a bunt, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Leonard swinging here. Very good with the bat. But she is bunting, and it's a good one. Grand Valley's going to take the out at first. Goebel to Rieger covering. Claire Johnson moving into scoring position at second base. Well, we can't take note of that play yesterday without talking about that play just now without talking about what happened yesterday in the Wayne State game. Johnson got on, Leonard bunted, and Hannah McClooney, the Wayne State third baseman, tried to get the lead runner at second. Got there just a touch late with her throw. That put 2 on with nobody out, and then 3 straight hits ultimately produced 4 runs for the Screaming Eagles, and that gave them their margin of victory. This is a pitch that is a strike, and a good one to Alicia Webb, the left fielder here for Southern Indiana. Batting from the right side against Lepofsky. Outfield slightly around to right and not very deep. Southern Indiana is not a big home run hitting team. Lepofsky tries to come inside that time and push back the right-handed hitter. Misses though, it's 1-1. Runner at second, 1 out. Base hit to start the game by Johnson, and then a sacrifice by Leonard, who is out third baseman to the first baseman, second baseman covering. This one is foul and out of play, so Lepofsky trying to dial up a strikeout pitch in this situation. Lepofsky came into the weekend with 271 strikeouts. She had 9 in the game yesterday. Could use one right here. This is in the air to shallow left field. Thatcher seems to have a bead on this one. She's under it and puts it away for out number 2. It is going to be tough to get one out to right field today. The wind is blowing from the northeast across, exact opposite of what we had yesterday. So maybe some of these balls going out to left might get a push, but we saw on that base hit by Johnson, it seemed like the wind knocked that one down a little bit. Caitlin Bradley bats next. Here's a ball out of play over the top, with 2 gone against the Lakers here in the top half of the first inning. Really the pivotal game of this portion of the regional tournament. The game that sees which team gets to sit out the rest of the day and then come back tomorrow and try to win one. Good stop there by Wagner, who's really moved into that role nicely. Generally, Wagner splits time with Reinert, but Wagner is sort of the personal catcher for Allie Lepovsky, and we expect to see pretty much nothing but Lepovsky in the circle for Grand Valley for as long as Grand Valley's going. That's just away there. 2-1 now the count on the center fielder for Southern Indiana. This is in the air on the infield. Lepovsky trying to take this one. Actually, it blows back into foul territory, and it's the catcher Wagner who caught that one with the mask on for the final out. Bottom of the first coming up, no score between Southern Indiana and Grand Valley.
Here in the bottom side of the first inning, the battery for Southern Indiana. Pitching, number 14, Haley Smith. And behind the plate catching, number 6, Lindsey Barr.
In its second round game against Southern Indiana. And here is Haley Smith, who pitched very effectively in the regional here last year. Kind of surprised some people, especially the Lakers, in helping her team advance from tournament play last year in Allendale. And this is Kaylee Reinhardt, the center fielder, leading off for Grand Valley. Very quick of foot. Will bunt her way on sometimes. That pitch is just outside, so says today's home plate umpire, Rick Havercroft. Reinhardt, a senior from Shepherd, up in the middle portion of the lower peninsula of Michigan. Small town right near Mount Pleasant and Central Michigan University. Bunting here. Smith is off the mound quickly. Going to have to hurry. Not in time. Whoa, that's probably a mistake there, but Reinhardt's going to make it with a head first slide. She saw that ball go by, and it was being backed up the play by Allison Schubert. But when Schubert got in foul territory, she fumbled the ball once. So Reinhardt bunts her way on. It's going to go as a hit and an error. And Reinhardt quickly in scoring position. And that's what speed can do for you. They bunt the pitcher, who is a little bit slow coming out of the circle. Reinhardt really is quick. Very fast runner from the right side. And here is Taylor Rieger. So does Grand Valley bunt here? I don't know. I think they might be swinging away. And they are. Grand Valley with the Lakers second baseman, Taylor Rieger, batting right now. Offered at that outside delivery. has fallen off to the right, so quickly an 0-2 hole for the number 2 hitter for the Lakers. A single by Reinert, a throwing error by the pitcher Smith, who tried to get her. And then Reinert with a great burst beat the throw to second, way outside from Haley Smith. Haley Smith is not a real big power pitcher. She's pretty crafty out there. She's got a lot of different things. She'll nibble a little bit, work both sides of the plate. She's got to come up with a strikeout if she can right here, though, against Rieger. Rieger stays alive there. That shows you the savvy of Haley Smith. She's staying away here. Grand Valley doesn't mind that so much. A ball on the ground to the right side will get the runner to third. Lydia Goebel, the freshman, on deck for the Lakers, who are in business early on against the team that knocked them out of the NCAA tournament last year. Here's a ball hit in the air to left field, going back, making the catch is the left fielder, Reinhard, going on the plate. She's going to be safe with a head-first slide. Wow, what a play by Reinhard to get in there. I didn't think she had a chance. The appeal down at second base that Reinhard left early. The umpire says no, and Reinhard really getting it done. That one is almost as good as a bunt or a rollout, but the ball was hit right on the nose, and if that gets over the head of Olivia Webb out there, who made the play and a strong throw to third, Grand Valley's probably got another runner on third and one run crossing the plate. But here's Goebel, who's been terrific this year in her first season of college baseball. RBI leader with 59 coming into the game. I should say she came into the tournament as the leading RBI deliverer for Grand Valley. Holman had a 2-run homer in that contest yesterday. She now has 60 on the season. This is a very, very good freshman player on the left side of the Grand Valley infield. And this is in the air. It's going to get the run in. Tracking back on this one in right field to make the catch is Allison Schubert, but Reinhardt's going to walk home pretty much with the first run of the ball game. And some good situational hitting done there by Lydia Goebel to pick up the RBI. And for Kaylee Reinhardt, who basically generated that run almost on her own, the Lakers take a 1-0 lead. So here's Holman batting next, the cleanup hitter, who had a 2-run homer in her first at bat yesterday. Missing outside is Haley Smith. Grand Valley won a game from USI last year in this tournament, but then lost in the second game of the 2-game finale. Holman up the middle. That's a big bounce there, and over to first by Claire Johnson to Schaus to retire the Lakers. But Grand Valley scratches out a run. They lead 1-0. Second inning coming up here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. It'll be Allie Schubert leading off for Southern Indiana. She'll be followed by Haley Schaus and Taylor Ricketts. First three scheduled against Allison Lepovsky here, the Grand Valley right-hander, the senior from Harrison, Michigan. Take a close look at Allie Lepovsky and see if you notice anything different about her. She went back to the dugout and put on a long-sleeve shirt after the first half inning of play. It's a little chilly out there right now. Temperature approaching about 50, but a pretty strong breeze of 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the northeast. 2-0 here on the leadoff hitter Schubert. Claire Johnson got aboard to lead off the first inning and got as far as second base. This is in the air on the left side. Flaherty taking command of this one, I believe, in foul territory, and the Lakers shortstop makes the catch. We saw a brutal play in the game yesterday involving a player that's going to bat this inning, the on-deck hitter Taylor Ricketts. There was a high pop-up on the left side. It blew into foul territory. It tied up Mary Bean, the third baseman. She took a lunge at it, missed it, and Taylor Ricketts, who was standing right nearby, got it right in the face, but somehow pulled herself together, stayed in the game, and then later had a base hit. And she's in the lineup again today. This is Schaus batting now from the left side. That was a good first pitch from Ali Lepovsky on the outside corner for a strike. Can't find that one. Lepovsky faced a lot of left-handed batters yesterday. Surrendered a home run in the 7th inning of that game against Wayne State, but did pretty well against the lefties. And of course, the matchup, pitcher against hitter, in terms of what side of the plate the hitter's hitting from or what hand the pitcher is using, is not quite as big in softball as would be in baseball, because the arm angle is not a big deal. Here's a swinging strike 3. Lepovsky gets her first strikeout of the game. Schaus goes down, and that'll bring up Taylor Ricketts. Ricketts has started every game this year for her team, batting .257. And that's a pitch that's in there from Lepovsky. Ricketts, a junior from Georgetown, Kentucky, playing in Evansville here for Southern Indiana. Lepovsky trying to dial herself in, threw it right on by that time. Quickly an 0-2 count on the shortstop with 2 gone here in the second. Grand Valley got a run in the first, manufactured by Kaylee Reinert, who bunted her way on, went to second on a wild throw, tagged, and went to third on a fly ball to left, and then scored on a fly ball out to give the Lakers a run when they had but one hit that only traveled about 15 or 20 feet in front of home plate. 0-2 now on the shortstop from USI. Just got a piece of that one, did Ricketts. With third baseman Mary Bean on deck right now, waiting her first plate action. She was the designated defender, if you will, yesterday. Played third, but did not bat in the game. Ricketts against Lepovsky, who tried to change up that time. That's the difference of Lepovsky from recent years. Certainly in her last 2 years, she's become much more developed, and she'll go off speed quite a bit more than we saw her early in her career. She's trying to mix things up, work both sides. Wasted that pitch. And Ricketts just able to stay alive. But Southern Indiana has seen Lepovsky before, and they don't really fear her the way some teams might, and they've actually had some pretty good swings against her already in this game today. Two-two. Well, Ricketts has been able to hang in there against the fastball of Lepovsky. Goebel even with the bag at third. Pretty much the same for Nakoma Holman at first base. Lepovsky did change up there on 2-2, but I don't think you'll see that again. I think that one jumped up, hit the edge of the plate, and might have bitten the catcher a little bit. Lepovsky was asking Morgan Wagner if she's okay. 3-2. Ball 4 inside. So we've seen that a little bit in this tournament, what happens when people go off speed on that 2-2 pitch. You put a little extra pressure to throw a strike on yourself there, and Lepovsky didn't quite manage it that time. So with 2 out, Ricketts at first on a walk. Here is Mary Bean batting for the first time, freshman player. She comes to Southern Indiana from the Chicago area. She swings at the high fastball, which is what you can reasonably expect to get from Ali Lepovsky quite often. It's going to be a pretty tough task for this player. She hasn't batted against Lepovsky. She took that one right down the pipe for strike 2. So now she's thinking, will she go off speed on me, or is she going to make me hit the fastball? Kind of a tough choice here for the young player. Open stance at the plate. Lepofsky going right back at her, and boy, awfully good looking pitch right there. And you heard some groans from down below from the Grand Valley people. Lepofsky, though, has stated her intentions. She's going to go hard on this player. Let's see if she goes fastball again. She does, and that is right down the middle. And Beam took it for a strike. Grand Valley's out of trouble in the second. Bottom of the second coming up. 1-0 Lakers here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. When the top half of the second inning ended, everybody ran to the dugout for Grand Valley except for the players that batted in the first. They came over and had a word with Kelsey Latour, the designated player for Grand Valley, who bats first here against Haley Smith. That's on the outside corner for a strike. Latour has had some struggles at the plate this year. We've talked about those, but she got a little bit better toward the end of the season into the GLIAC postseason tournament. She had a home run yesterday in the game against Hillsdale. This one down the line in right, that's going foul. Wind starting to change a little bit, seems to be, well, right now it looks a little bit out of the northwest. It was out of the northeast. It's still kind of a cold wind though, and not one that's helping anybody to any field right at the present time. Latour had a good year last year, trying to find that form again in the postseason. Haley Smith missing way outside. Ooh. Latour checked her swing. She took a called third strike yesterday in the game, and that pitch right there looked to be maybe a little bit off the plate, but that's not the way Rick Havercroft saw it, and it's a strikeout for Haley Smith, her first of the contest, and this brings up Bailey Thatcher. Thatcher, a left-handed hitter. The only one in the Grand Valley lineup right now. Hits it hard to second. Oh, that got the second baseman up in the chest a little bit, but she recovered, Claire Johnson did, to make the play at first for the out. First pitch swinging, Bailey Thatcher hit it sharply to second base. But Johnson, after being stunned by that third hop, came up, got her, I think, almost in the left shoulder. She kept her wits about her and made the play. Here is Brooke Henning taking off speed outside for ball one. Henning just about a 300 hitter coming into the weekend action. Takes that down low from Haley Smith. Morgan Wagner, the catcher, waiting on deck. Henning comes in batting .299 to this tournament. Wagner .298, but Wagner has had some big hits, and she might get a chance here with a runner on board. 3-0 the count now to the Grand Valley right fielder Brooke Henning. Three and one now. Player from Blissfield, Michigan, small town down in the Jackson area. Takes outside, that's ball 4. So Henning is aboard for Grand Valley. She's only the second base runner the Lakers have had. Henning can run a little bit. Might be a situation where if Grand Valley guesses right, they might want to send her with 2 out. Here is Morgan Wagner. This is a player that's delivered some big hits for the Lakers this year. Takes it just outside, check swing there. One and one now to the Laker right fielder here, batting in the second inning with her team on top, 1-0. Grand Valley's first batter of the ball game. Kaylee Reinhardt bunted her way on and worked her way around to score. Off speed there, 2-1 now. Reinhardt made a couple of dubious decisions, you'd have to say. If you didn't know her and didn't know her speed and aggressiveness on the misfire at first base when she got the bunt base hit, the play was being backed up quite nicely by the right fielder, who was only, probably 30 or 40 feet away when the ball went past the first baseman, but Allison Schubert couldn't pick it up cleanly, and Reinhardt made it to second. Then on the fly out to left field, Reinhardt took a chance and just barely beat the throw there to get to third, and then scored on the sacrifice fly by Lydia Goebel. 3-1 now here on Morgan Wagner. Great pitch for the hitter, has to stay disciplined here. Let's see if Henning is running on this pitch. I doubt it. On the outside corner, should be running now. It's good discipline, though, I think, by Wagner. Very good pitcher's pitch there toward the outside. Probably not going to do much on that other than roll over it, so she's going to look for something a little bit better here. Here's a hard smash. It's into center field. Henning will make third base on the play. She's in standing up. Hesitated a little bit going around second. Not quite sure why with 2 out. Should have been in a full gallop at that point. Dana Callahan talking to her right now, but Wagner gets a hit for the Lakers, only their second of the ball game. And with 2 out, chance for Grand Valley to strike again through Shannon Flaherty. Good bounce back season for Shannon, who started 53 straight games now. 352 batting average. Anywhere into the grass, we'll get one home for the Lakers here. Flaherty, I think, a little bit taken aback by that call, inside and at the letters for a strike. This is a pitcher that prefers to work away, though, so Haley Smith is going to have to come up with something different against Flaherty, I think. Worked away that time. A little bluff by Wagner, but she's not going anywhere. They want to give this player a chance to hit with Reinhardt on deck. Big opportunity for Grand Valley with 2 outs. A walk and then a single. Puts a runner at third base. Flaherty taking there. 2-1 now. Jen Leonard did not start this ball game. She is in the lineup, though. Boy, she couldn't stop. Dana Callahan's going to come in and have something to say to the umpire there. I thought that Flaherty really checked her swing there. We don't have another look at that one, unfortunately, but she just kind of waved the bat through the zone after she thought she had stopped. She didn't really offer, but now she's facing a 2-2 count here. That pitch was well off the plate. And now 3-2, and that'll get the runner at first moving on the 3-2 pitch. Dana Callahan and Jen Rivera giving the word to Morgan Wagner. Let's see if Grand Valley can get one into a gap right here. A little tapper that's going to go foul at third base. Three-2 to Flaherty. Stays alive. Shannon Flaherty this year with 35 RBIs. Total of 4 home runs, 4 triples, and 6 doubles in 145 at-bats this year. Could use a base hit right now to give Lepofsky a little bit of a cushion against this fine team from Southern Indiana. And that's exactly what she delivers. Wagner is going to get back to the base at second, held up by Dana Callahan, and what an at-bat for Shannon Flaherty. Hung tough. And is Southern Indiana going to make a pitching change right now? Jen Leonard has been warming up, and I think they're going to get her in right now to try to stop this rally. Sue Kunkel's out there talking it over. They're looking at the bullpen, and Leonard's waiting for the signal. Well, she's not warming up, which she probably ought to be. There's no sense stalling if your pitcher's not throwing, and now they finally pass the word. So Leonard comes into the ball game with Grand Valley on top 2-0. A walk and 2 hits producing a run here in the bottom of the second. And it's Brooke Henning who crossed the plate with the second Laker run. Boy, there's certainly 2 schools of thought here if you're Sue Kunkel. Do you let the starter Haley Smith go for a while, hoping that she'll work her team out of it? Or do you go to Leonard, who could be in for a very long day of work? You leave her in right now. She's got to pitch probably at least 4 innings of this ball game if the scoreline doesn't change, and then she'd have to come back probably again and pitch the 3rd game of the afternoon at about 3:30. So it's kind of a marginal call. I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see Leonard start this ball game. But certainly you can't second guess the coach because she knows her capabilities, and this game started really only about, well, I'm guessing about 14 hours, 15 hours after the completion of yesterday's game. So Leonard might have needed a little bit more time, and maybe the day just wasn't quite to her liking, but Leonard's in there right now, and she will pitch to Kaylee Reinard with 2 on and 2 out, a run in the Grand Valley second. The Lakers leading by a score already of 2-0. I guess the bigger problem right here for Southern Indiana is what happens if Grand Valley is able to get to Leonard in this game. What does that do to the plans for the remainder of the weekend for Kunkel and company? But right now they're going to go with their best and try to ride it out, hope they're able to get something going against Allie Lepofsky. Reinard, the batter, had a bunt single, scored. Very scrappy run for Reinard in the first inning. Went to second on an overthrow, barely made it. And then on a line drive to left field, she took off for third, and I thought she was a goner, but she got in with a headfirst slide just ahead of the tag by Mary Bean, and then scored on a fly out to center field by Goebel. So here's Reinard with a chance to do some more damage. Full marks to Flaherty for getting that 2-out hit from the number 9 spot to give the Lakers a 2-run lead. Reinhardt's looking at the first pitch, which is upstairs. Taylor Rieger will bat next if Reinhardt can keep it going here for Grand Valley. It started innocently enough, a strikeout and a ground out, and then a walk and 2 singles. 2-0 now. Kaylee Reinard is a hitter who's kind of hard to walk. She's very aggressive, likes to swing the bat, kind of jumpy in the box and anxious. And I say that she's hard to walk, and yet I look down at the stat sheet, and she's walked 20 times this year, which of course makes her the team leader. Now she's walked again, and the bases are loaded. So Leonard maybe didn't get quite enough time to warm up in the bullpen. She misses with 4 straight. Now she's going to have to face Rieger. And this is where it could get really messy for the visitors right now. Bases loaded. Pitcher maybe not quite completely up to speed in the circle. And Grand Valley chomping at the bit here, trying to get some more. I don't think Rieger's going to let a good one go by, though. And that's 5 in a row that have missed the zone from Jen Leonard. Can't say much. If you're Sue Kunkel, you made the decision, and now you're going to live with it. Rieger swinging, fouled that one back. That was a better pitch, low and toward the outside portion of the plate. Wagner at third, Flaherty at second, Kaylee Reinert at first. And that is another one that misses the zone. So 6 of the first 7 have been balls from Jen Leonard, the usually very reliable pitcher for Southern Indiana. Working in relief here in today's game. Rieger out of play to even the count at 2. Rieger has started every game for Grand Valley this year. Has the most plate appearances in 53 games. And this is back out of play again, right in front of us there. Been right through my window had the netting not been up there. Still 2-2 with 2 gone. Bases loaded with Lakers here. The national champions in a big jam right now. Foul tipped into the glove of the catcher for a swinging strike 3. Grand Valley, though, does pick up another run. They leave 3. We go to the third. Grand Valley 2, Southern Indiana nothing on the Grand Valley Sports Network. It's the catcher, Lindsey Barr, leading off here in the top of the third inning for Southern Indiana. Southern Indiana has managed to get a runner aboard in each of the first 2 against Allison Lepofsky, but not able to push anything across the plate. 9-1-2, Barr, Johnson, Leonard against Lepofsky. Swinging right through that one is the backstop, strike 1. Lepofsky with 2 strikeouts in the second inning. And she's got a pitch at the letters right there for strike 2. Went with the hard stuff right there and wasn't quite able to get it all the way by Lindsey Barr. Player from Whitesville, Kentucky, a senior. Got in on her fist that time, did Lepofsky. That ball is going to take a sabbatical here until somebody climbs up there to get it. Inside corner, called third strike. Lepofsky now with her 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Here is the always difficult Claire Johnson. Had a base hit, reached 2nd in the first inning, but was stranded there when Lepofsky was able to retire Alicia Webb and Caitlin Bradley on pop-ups. Johnson went right through that one. That was power versus power there. Lepofsky with perhaps her best fastball of the game in a good spot against the Screaming Eagles second baseman. Grand Valley medium depth, a little deeper in center field for Reinard than you might expect. She respects the power of Claire Johnson. And still working against the hitters, though. 2-1 now the count. Lakers have scored runs in each of the first 2 innings. We're in the top of the third now. 2-0 Grand Valley in second round action of the NCAA tournament. And then the softball finally drips down. Kind of scared a few of the patrons up there in the front row seats. Johnson takes that pitch. Mighty good location right there, but Havercroft said a little bit low. 3-1 on Claire Johnson. That was ripped to left, but pretty good location from Lipovsky. She got it well inside on Claire Johnson, who correctly anticipated a fastball on that 3-1 count. I bet Lipovsky probably tried to go back to the other side of the plate here. Let's see. Well, she worked inside again, pretty much the same pitch, but this time Johnson laid off, and she is on board for the second time in this ball game. Here's Leonard, who started out as the designated player. She is now pitching in the contest. And she can handle the bat. Strange batting stance. Half of her right foot is outside the batter's box. She wants to open up and get a good look. And she was right on that fastball from Lipovsky. Grand Valley played a little bit around toward the right side on Leonard. We've seen her hit the other way, though, go the other way. She checked it. Boy, oh boy, that looked to me like a swing. Yes, and it was. They appealed out to the base umpire, who called that a strike, so it's 0-2 on Leonard. I don't think there was much doubt about that call. Leonard well outside, watching that one sail by. 1-2 the count. Pitcher versus pitcher right here. Lipovsky wants to get after this player. Very dangerous athlete. Good pitcher, good hitter. Good bat control, too. Just got a touch of that one. The thing about Lipovsky, even against good teams, if she's not striking a lot of people out, and she's had 3 strikeouts already, she wears you down with that very heavy fastball. Seems like you have to make 2 or 3 or 4 good swings just to get one in play against her generally. And here's a drive to right, could be a double play, and it will be. Henning speared that one and threw back in behind Claire Johnson for the right field to first base double play. Second one we've seen here in this regional. We go to the bottom of the third. Grand Valley 2, Southern Indiana nothing on the Grand Valley Sports Network. On yesterday's ball game against Hillsdale, Grand Valley hit into a right field to first base double play and a line drive with a runner going, and today they turned the tables and record one of their own. Leonard hit a bullet. That ball hung up just a little bit. Brooke Henning stayed cool, gloved it, and then threw a perfect strike all the way in the air back into Nakoma Holman to retire Johnson for the third and final out of the inning. Here's Grand Valley against Leonard in the bottom of the third. This is Lydia Goebel. Been a little bit quiet so far in this regional. Had 1 hit in the game yesterday. Hit a fly ball to right, though, a sacrifice that scored a run back in the first. That's a strike. Grand Valley RBIs today for Goebel on that sac fly and for Shannon Flaherty on her base hit. Goebel hits a tapper foul. One and two here to Lydia Goebel, the fine third baseman for Grand Valley, enjoying a terrific freshman season of college softball. Mentioned before, she was the GLIAC Freshman of the Year. She was also a first-team all-region selection in softball. This is back up the middle. Nice play by Ricketts. Can she hurry and get her? She does. That's terrific right there by Ricketts. Fully extended, got the arm out, and then had to turn her body completely around and kind of throw without a good foundation there, but made an accurate throw to retire Lydia Goebel. One gone for Grand Valley now in the third inning. On that 6-3 ground out. Here's Nakoma Holman. Talked about Lydia Goebel being an all-region. Here's a drive to right field and deep. Going back, tracking over there. It's just foul off the glove of the right fielder, Allison Schubert. Boy, yesterday, that would have been a home run by a mile, but the wind blowing hard from the northeast right now. Actually, maybe a little northwest, but definitely kept that one in the park and eventually blew it into foul territory. Getting back to my point about Holman, all-region first-team selection along with Goebel and Lepovsky for Grand Valley. This is in the air to center, not very deep. Tracking in on this one is Caitlin Bradley, and she puts it in her pocket for the second out of the third inning. Kelsey Latour bats next. She was a strikeout victim, leading off the second inning, getting her second at bat in this ball game. Latour had a home run to the opposite field yesterday. That's right down the middle from Jen Leonard. Leonard is surprising, I think, sometimes with her velocity. She's not a real tall pitcher out there, but when she throws her best fastball, it's good enough to get past most hitters. Tapper to third. Good short hop pickup by the third baseman, Mary Bean, across to first for the out. 3 up, 3 down for Grand Valley. Fourth inning coming up. Still Grand Valley 2, Southern Indiana nothing on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Fourth inning now here for the Screaming Eagles against Allie Lepovsky. So far in this contest, they have had just one hit. 2 others have reached on base on balls. And here is Alicia Webb batting. The number 3 hitter playing in left field, hit a fly ball to left in her first at bat. Lepovsky looking in. The old country fastball right there, low and on the edge, and swung right through there by Alicia Webb. 0-2 the count to the leadoff hitter for USI here in the fourth inning. That pitch was up in the zone, and Alicia Webb was on it, but she couldn't get on top of it. player who came into this tournament batting .336, with no home runs on the season. Kind of surprising for a 3-slot hitter. Quite a few hits and a total of 20 RBIs, but we talked about the fact that Grand Valley probably has substantially more home run power than Southern Indiana, although I don't think you're going to see too many balls flying over the fence today. Up in the air and out of play on the left side. Barr, the catcher, who's hitting in the number 9 spot, actually leads his team in home runs with 6. Schubert has 5, and Claire Johnson, the second baseman, with 4. You contrast that to Grand Valley, and they've got Goebel with 13, Holman with 9, Rieger with 9. Tapper foul. So you wouldn't see either one of these teams are really big home run hitting teams, but Grand Valley has about twice as many as Southern Indiana on the season. Lepofsky got her on the high fastball toward the outside portion of the plate. That is out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning. Kaylin Bradley bats next. She popped up to the catcher in foul territory in her first at bat. Nice play made by Wagner on a ball that went straight up in the air. On the inside corner, that's a beautiful pitch right there. We talked about yesterday, so many hitters today are divers. They dive across the plate trying to get to that outside pitch, and you throw it there, you're going to lock them up. And that's what happened with Lepofsky's first delivery. Goes to the outside with an off-speed delivery. See Shannon Flaherty trying to peek in, get a look at the sign. This is in the air on the right side. Going to get out of play toward the bullpen of Southern Indiana. Onto the grass, and over there in the shadow of the Kelly Family Sports Center here at Grand Valley. The indoor facility that's used by so many of the Lakers teams, football, soccer, golf teams even hit balls in there during the winter. Put the nets up and blaze away. Oh, good pitch again. That's that inside delivery, and as I mentioned before, Bradley was frozen the first time, and she was frozen on that one. 5 strikeouts now for Lepofsky. Schubert bats next. Allie Schubert, the right fielder, popped up to short. Her last at bat. Play actually made in foul territory by Shannon Flaherty. Boy, there's that pitch again, and if Allie Lepofsky keeps tattooing that spot right there, it's going to be so difficult for these right-handers because that pitch is in on the hands, and just might as well not even swing at it because you're not going to hit it past the pitcher's mound. Outside and high, and Schubert goes through it. 4 strike 1. 2 gone. 4th inning, Grand Valley 2, Southern Indiana nothing here. This is a winner's bracket game in the second round of the NCAA regional tournament at Grand Valley. Two and one now with Haley Schaus, the first baseman, on deck for Sue Kunkel and the Screaming Eagles. Two and two now. As Rick Havercroft stretches his right arm out a little bit and throws one back to Allie Lepofsky. Outfield slightly around toward right, as is generally the case when Lepofsky's pitching. Off speed again from Lepofsky. She really hasn't had very many pitches off speed in the zone today. She hasn't thrown a lot of them, but she's kind of been bouncing them up there, which is partly by design and just partly due to a lack of command. In the air on the right side, this is going to get out of play as well. Run for Grand Valley in the first, another in the second. We're in the top of the fourth with 2 out now. Southern Indiana batting against the Lakers and Allison Lepofsky, trying for her 28th win of the year. Tapper to third. Goebel, what a play. She gets up, fires across to get the out, and the freshman showing her skills big time on that one. Bottom of the fourth coming up. Lakers 2, Southern Indiana nothing on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
The left fielder, number 12, Bailey Thatcher.
It's Bailey Thatcher here, hitting for the Lakers to lead off the fourth inning. This is game 3 of the NCAA Division II Softball Regional here in Allendale, Michigan. I'm Tom Cleary with you today with our hardy crew. Our guys out running camera today are facing a pretty stiff breeze and temperatures only about in the low 50s. Thatcher right back to the mound. Leonard will gunner out at first base for out number 1. Leonard did not start this ball game, so Grand Valley hasn't really done any damage against her. Lakers scored 2 runs against the starter Haley Smith after the Flaherty RBI single in the second. Leonard was summoned from the bullpen. She was actually in the starting lineup as a designated player, but didn't enter the game until 2 out in the second. Brooke Henning batting now for the Lakers, in the air on the right side. Should be easy. Well, this could get interesting right now, but staying with that one. Fighting the breeze is Haley Schaus, and she's got it in her glove and foul territory for out number 2. Morgan Wagner bats now with 2 outs. This game humming right along. We started at 11 o'clock Eastern, so we're completing our first hour of action today from the softball field at Grand Valley. And this is the catcher who's had a big role in this game. In the second inning, after 2 were out, Henning walked. Morgan Wagner, the hitter, now delivered a single that drove her to third, and then Shannon Flaherty, the number 9 hitter, with an RBI single sharply to center field to score the second Grand Valley run. Wagner takes that one for a strike. An emerging player is Morgan Wagner, no doubt about it. With Reinhardt moving on after this year, this is a player that's going to get a lot of duty behind the dish in future years. Where's a ball toward left center? Will it hang up? It gets into the gap, and Wagner has done it again. That's the spot that she just seems to own out there. And that ball cut right through the breeze and over the head of Olivia Webb, and it's a stand-up double, the second hit of the ball game for Morgan Wagner, to give Grand Valley a runner in scoring position with 2 gone. We'll see if the dependable Shannon Flaherty can get it done again, this time against Leonard. Flaherty, as I just mentioned, had a 2-out RBI single in her first at bat. A run here would really loom large. It's on the outside corner. Flaherty taking on the first delivery from Jen Leonard. Player who started out at third base for Grand Valley, switched midway through her sophomore year, and she's been the shortstop ever since. And that's strike 2. Leonard has been a pitcher that is more often than not been throwing hard pitches here, but I suspect she might try to bounce one up on Shannon Flaherty with 2 strikes. Well, she tried to get her to chase that high outside pitch. Flaherty had a tough offensive year last year, but she's bounced back in a big way here in 2019. And she can't find that one. The threat is ended. A strikeout for Leonard Flaherty. We go to the 5th inning. Grand Valley 2, Southern Indiana nothing on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
For Southern Indiana, first baseman, number 24, Haley Schaus.
Hitter 6, 7, and 8 for Southern Indiana against Lepofsky in the 5th inning. Grand Valley on top by a couple here. Glad you're with us today from Allendale, Michigan on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Second round action in the women's NCAA Division II softball regional at Grand Valley, where the home side is controlling this one presently. But the defending champions have been in some tough spots before, so they're by no means caving in against Allie Lepofsky, who gets a strike on Schaus, who was a strikeout victim back in her previous at bat in the 2nd inning. Another open stance hitter from the left side. Lepofsky came in on her that time, and again, it's an interesting choice by Lepofsky, trying to work inside to everybody, right-handers and left-handers. 2-1 now the count. Taylor Ricketts in the on-deck circle for Sue Kunkel and the Screaming Eagles. Lepofsky wants to come with her best stuff right here. And that pitch was judged to be a little bit up. I think Morgan Wagner turning around to ask. As we look at Taylor Rieger down at second base after getting a first pitch strike, Lepofsky has now fallen behind 3-1. I think she thought that last pitch was in the zone. 4 straight outside the zone for Lepofsky, so a little bit of loss of concentration for the Grand Valley ace to lead off the 5th.
The shortstop, number 21, Taylor Ricketts.
Sue Kunkel looks like she's about to make a change. Is she going to get a runner out there for Haley Schaus? Out of the dugout comes Jessica Tucker. Tucker was the player yesterday who came on as a pinch runner on a base hit, actually rounded the bag at second. I'm not sure if it was on a base hit, but the throw came back in behind her at second base, and she was called safe. We looked at the replay, and it looked to me like she was out on the play, and it didn't really matter. Southern Indiana did not score in that particular inning, but at the time, you kind of thought it might turn out to be something more important than it was. But you've got to be alert as a pinch runner coming into the game and get immediately dialed in. Here is Ricketts batting. She's first pitch swinging, and Lepofsky got it by her for strike 1. 2-0 Grand Valley, top of the 5th inning. The shortstop batting here. Very good defender, this player. Everybody's wearing an armband for Southern Indiana to get the signals. The bunt is on. It's going to be picked up by Holman. She'll go to first base for the easy out. Grand Valley in this situation will trade a base for an out. Runner moves to second with 1 gone here. Perfectly executed sacrifice. Schaus, or I should say the pinch runner, Tucker. Down at second now. And here is Mary Bean. They're going to hit for Bean, which is not shocking. It will be instead Courtney Schoolcraft who will step in. Bean was kind of overwhelmed by Lepovsky in her first at bat. So here is Schoolcraft that steps into bat now. Lepovsky here in the fifth inning has maybe been a little bit too fine with her desire to get a piece of the corners. She's missed again inside. I don't think there's a lot that Grand Valley's brain trust feels it can do about it. They've just got to trust their ace to start throwing strikes here. Grand Valley up by a couple of runs here. Lepovsky. There's that pitch, a little bit low, and Morgan Wagner wants to get time and talk to Lepovsky. You don't see very many chinks in the armor of Lepovsky, but every now and then, just every third or fourth game, she looks like she runs through a stretch of a couple of hitters where she loses concentration. I think sometimes she's going a little bit too quickly out there. Has to collect herself right now. And that one is right down the middle on the 3-0 pitch. You get into a good rhythm, and then you start going just a little bit too quickly there, and you start missing just a little bit. Lepovsky just has to slow down and right herself, and that is a check swing strike. They ask for help again out there from the base umpire, and he again indicates. I thought Schoolcraft pretty clearly swung there, so the count goes full now. And I think Lepovsky's just going to try to get this one over the plate somewhere. She does and gets a strikeout. So how about that for Wagner? Goes out to talk to her pitcher after 3 straight balls, and she comes back with 3 straight strikes to get a very important strikeout. Here is Lindsey Barr. So there is hope here for Southern Indiana. We talked about Lindsey Barr being the leading home run hitter on this team. She'd love a long one now, but she fouls the first pitch back. So after 3 straight balls, it's 4 straight strikes from Allie Lepovsky. 2 down now. And you'd like to make it happen right here and not have to face Johnson, who's been a thorn in Grand Valley's side today, reaching both of her previous plate appearances. 0-2 now to Lindsey Barr, who struck out against Lepovsky back in the 3rd. See if Lepovsky tries to come back inside on this hitter again. Instead, she rolled over an off-speed delivery. Oh, 0-2 to Lindsey Barr, runner at second, 2 out in the Southern Indiana 5th. 2-0 Grand Valley. Barr hanging tough. Another foul ball. Swinging 3rd strike, and Lepovsky gets herself out of a little bit of a pickle with 2 strikeouts consecutively. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Still Grand Valley 2, Southern Indiana nothing.
Reiner.
Top of the batting order for Grand Valley here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Kaylee Reinert, Taylor Rieger, and Lydia Goebel. Reinert on base twice, a single and a walk. She scored the first run of the game back in the opening inning. She takes that inside from Jen Leonard. Grand Valley would like to make things difficult on Leonard. Even if they don't score any runs, they want to stretch her out, knowing that she's going to have to probably pitch again. And I think certainly everybody sees Southern Indiana as Grand Valley's top rival in this part of the region. Reinert bunted too hard. That's going to be easy for Leonard. Throws to the second baseman covering. You're going to put that down right there. You don't want to do that against Leonard like you would against Haley Smith. Too good of an athlete in the circle, and Reinert is out for the first time today trying to bunt. That is out number 1. Pitcher to the second baseman. Taylor Rieger bats next. She's been quiet today, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. That's out of play. Neither team has worn the ball out. Grand Valley had a bunt single in the first, then had 2 hits to score a run in the second. Since then, the only thing the Lakers have gotten has been a double off the bat of Morgan Wagner. And from a hitting standpoint, Southern Indiana has done even less against Grand Valley's Allie Lepovsky. A leadoff single by Claire Johnson to start the game. A couple of walks, but that's pretty much it. Woo! That's back up the middle. Shortstop's going to make the play and throw her out. Leonard slowed that ball down just enough to allow Ricketts to get over there, and there really wasn't anything Taylor Rieger could do. It was hit like a shot back through the box. Looked like it was headed to center field. Shortstop doesn't get there without that ball being touched by the pitcher. But it will go 1-6-3 on the put out there, and Lydia Goebel bats now with 2 out in the Laker 5th. Goebel in the ball game. Sacrifice fly and a fly out to right field in the first. Grounded to short her last at bat. Chicago area freshman swings through that one. Now 0-2, and Leonard on the verge of a very quick inning here, which is exactly what she wants and what her team needs her to deliver. They want to get back up there against Allie Lepovsky. Inside now. That's a kind of a pet pitch for Leonard. We saw it yesterday in the game against Wayne State. She kind of runs that ball in on right-handers pretty effectively. That is a foul tip, swinging third strike for the out. Grand Valley goes quietly in the 5th. 6th inning coming up. Still Grand Valley 2, Southern Indiana nothing. Pivotal inning for both sides here in the 6th. Allison Lepovsky trying to protect a 2-run lead going against, statistically, the 3 top hitters for Southern Indiana: Claire Johnson, Jennifer Leonard, and Alicia Webb. Off speed for ball 1. That's just been a pitch that Lepovsky hasn't been able to deliver with any real consistency today. Don't think she's had a real good off-speed pitch for a strike in this contest. Has to go get this player right here. She's been on base twice. That's a good one from Lepovsky, and that was off speed. 1-1. Outfield pretty much straight away. Backing up a little bit here in the late going. Claire Johnson, a very, very good player, and she drills this one. This has got, well, I was going to say it had maybe the possibility of getting out of the yard had it been in fair territory. It was about 100 feet foul, though, so you really couldn't tell. But she had a good swing, but she's down to the count 1-2. Lipovsky gave her the hard stuff to the outside, but couldn't bite off a piece of the edge there. The count runs even now. I don't know that you'll see the off speed again. Got to make her hit her way out here. That's in the air and foul and out of play. Nice little touch here at Grand Valley. The organ music you hear playing in the background. Tapper foul. Really a fine pitch from Lipovsky there, and good work done by Johnson to get a little bit of that one. It's a great battle right here. A very accomplished player against arguably the top starting pitcher in the country in Division II this year, Allison Lipovsky. Johnson just bulldogging it at the plate, staying alive. Came into the tournament tied with Leonard with 59 hits. This is a player that's had 20 extra base hits this year. 4 home runs, 5 triples, 11 doubles. Ooh! Ooh, boy, that was a tough one to take right there. Johnson, I'm not sure if she made a great decision or just realized that she was beaten and couldn't do anything about it and was hoping for the call there. Count runs full at 3-2. She is dialed in on the speed of Lipovsky, but she hasn't been able to square one up just yet. All you can do if you're Lipovsky is keep pounding the zone, make her hit her way on. And she couldn't do it. Lipovsky gives the lead-off walk-up to Claire Johnson, who's on for the 3rd time today, and here is Leonard. Leonard get into a double play in her last at-bat. She's dangerous, though. She's swinging away on the first pitch and fouled it out of play. She had a line drive to right. Kind of a key play for Grand Valley in this ball game. Johnson took off running. Brooke Henning caught the ball that hung up ever so slightly and then threw back behind for the double play at first. And I think you're seeing Lipovsky, again, trying to be a little bit too fine with some of these deliveries here. She wants to get it in the zone. The thing that Grand Valley has to fear most on this day is probably walks and then maybe errors. Haven't been a lot of hard hit balls. And that's a good one right there from Lipovsky. Went right back to the spot she tried to get to on the previous pitch. It's 1-2 to Jen Leonard. Alicia Webb waiting on deck. You don't want to bring the go-ahead run to the plate. No question about that. Lipovsky swinging late right toward the Grand Valley dugout over there on the left side. Rick Havercroft has to go over and get some new balls. And Grand Valley tries to go back to work. Outfield, medium depth, pretty much straight away. Let's see if Lipovsky can get the big out she needs here. You can see how these hitters in the top of the batting order are timing that Lipovsky fastball, which is probably why she's thrown some breaking balls in off speed in this game. These are good, solid players. That's on the outside edge, and Leonard watches it sail by, and that is a huge out for Grand Valley right there. kind of take small ball out of the equation here, at least temporarily, as Leonard goes down on strikes. And now it's Alicia Webb, who is 0 for 2 in this game. She struck out back in the 4th inning. Checked her swing and sent it toward the bullpen on the USI side of the diamond. This is a player you might be able to double up on a ball hit on the ground. Boy, that's smashed hard. Oh! Terry Ballard over there on the dugout, our photographer. He got his attention. I was wincing up here over that one. 0-2 the count. Good swing though by Webb. Here's a grounder short. Could it be 2? Flaherty's going to take it herself. It's safe at first. She made the right decision though, Flaherty, although I would say if she had to do it again, she might have run across the bag. She was kind of in between though. She really didn't have a perfect opportunity there. If she flips it to Rieger, Rieger's never going to be able to get enough on the throw. Fielder's choice, shortstop making the play at second for the second out, and here is Caitlin Bradley. Bradley went after that off-speed delivery. Strike 1. Go back and review that last play. Could Flaherty have taken that ball and run across the bag? What she did is step back to move out of the way of the sliding runner, but if she runs across the bag, she's a little bit closer to first base for the throw. So it's a tough choice to make for a shortstop. And you can't second guess. She made the smart play though. Well, she did the right thing. She made sure of one and got the lead runner. 0-2 now here on Bradley. Lepovsky would love this out, and she gets it on a swinging third strike. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still Grand Valley 2, Southern Indiana no score here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Perhaps the last opportunity for Grand Valley to score some runs in this one, to stretch this one out a little bit. Nakoma Holman, Kelsey Latour, and Bailey Thatcher. First 3 scheduled against Jen Leonard, who's been in there since the last half of the second in relief of Haley Smith. Holman checked it, fouled it back to the screen. Now, if Grand Valley goes on to win this game, they'll think of this as being almost a perfect outcome. Not only did they beat a good team, if they do indeed beat Southern Indiana, but they've also forced Sue Kunkel to use Leonard in a game in which she really hasn't been able to affect the outcome. She came in when her team was behind 2-0. She's held Grand Valley at bay. She's done beautifully. But if you lose 2-0 or 12-0, it's all the same. The important thing for the opponents of Southern Indiana is that they've stretched this pitcher out a little bit as Holman watches that one sail by. One and two to Nakoma Holman, a local player from Wyoming, suburb of Grand Rapids. Ooh, checked that pitch, checked on that pitch, and it was up around her eyes and just got a piece of it. They put one up around her shoulders yesterday on an off-speed delivery in the game against Hillsdale, and she knocked it out of the yard, way out of the yard. 2-2 now on Nakoma. What a season she's had. Came into the NCAA tournament hitting .409, 9 home runs, 16 doubles, 58 runs batted in. That's in the air. Pretty routine. Right on the foul line is Olivia Webb, who gloves it for out number 1. Kelsey Latour bats next. Struck out in her first at bat in the second. Took a called third strike. That was against Haley Smith, and then grounded out to third in her last at bat against this pitcher, Jen Lenhart. Got in on her fist a little bit with that delivery, strike 1. Looking ahead to the 7th inning coming up, it'll be hitters 5, 6, and 7. Schubert, Schaus, and Ricketts to face Allie Lipovsky here in the opener of action. First of 3 games today from this regional at Grand Valley. Latour has got to get on that pitch right there because she likes to extend her arms. That ball is toward the outside portion of the plate. Really, I would think kind of a perfect location for her, with a lot of power to the right side, right center, right field. Leonard knows that. She went back and tried to tempt her, but it wasn't going to happen. Count goes to 1-2 to the designated player for Grand Valley here in this game, Kelsey Latour. Had a big swing at that one. This could be interesting. Ricketts is going to take command here, and they're going to let her get it, and she's going to make the catch for the second out. That's almost a play identical to the one yesterday where Mary Bean got lost at third base trying to circle under a high pop-up. The ball came down and it hit Ricketts in the face, and I think she's smiling out there saying, that was a much better outcome. On the pop-out to the shortstop in foul territory, so here's Bailey Hatcher now. Grand Valley's only left-handed starter in this game, facing Lenhart. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Thatcher's grounded out twice in this game, once to the pitcher, once to second base. Another player who's been a little bit quiet so far in this NCAA tournament, but somebody who's coming off a very good season. Statistically, the number 2 Laker in batting average at .365. She was late on that one. Thatcher pulling off that ball a little bit and striking out for the third out. We go to the top of the 7th. Last chance for Southern Indiana against Allie Lipovsky here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Well, can the opener be the closer? We'll find out here in the 7th inning. Allie Lipovsky has been outstanding today for Grand Valley. 1 hit allowed, 9 strikeouts, facing Allison Schubert to start the 7th. And here's a ball up in the air on the right side. Pretty easy for Nakoma Holman. And that is out number 1, first pitch swinging. I want to remind you, we have a full afternoon of softball here from Grand Valley. at 1:30 approximately, Wayne State and Hillsdale. And then at around 4 o'clock this afternoon, the loser of this game against the loser or the winner of the next game. That's on the outside corner to Haley Schaus. Walking a strikeout in 2 previous appearances. First baseman batting from the left side. 1 gone here in the top of the 7th. Lepofsky trying to nail it down. Swinging strike 2. Ricketts is on deck here for Southern Indiana. Sue Kunkel's team is really batting down the hatches after allowing runs in the first 2 innings. Now they've got to find 2 to keep it going here against the Terminator. Ooh. Not missing by very much that time was Lepofsky. But Allie didn't flinch there. She was trying to go to the outside edge or further away, and she was just a little bit further away than she would have liked to have been. 1-2 the count here to the Southern Indiana first baseman. Swinging line drive. Goebel got the glove up and flashes leather for the 2nd time in this ball game. That ball hit right on the nose. And Lydia Goebel, who made a great diving stop and throw on a grounder earlier in the game, kind of looked like a hockey goalie that time. She kind of splayed her legs out, went down and just got that glove up, and she's saying, thank goodness for that mouth guard that I'm wearing. Worked out quite nicely. A line out to third, leaves it up to Taylor Ricketts here. That's off the glove of Morgan Wagner. Ball 1. Grand Valley with 1 out to go here. Ricketts in this ball game does not have an official at bat. She walked back in the 2nd, sacrificed her last at bat. Has to find a way to get on base here. And that's in there from Allie Lepofsky on the inside edge. 1-1. Grand Valley trying to be the team that emerges from the winner's bracket here, if you will. If the Lakers win this one, they will go home until tomorrow. Let's see what Lepofsky can do. This is outside. Got to stay calm now, Allie Lepofsky. Looked like your pace picked up a little bit on that delivery. Boy, that's a good pitch right there. Called strike 2 on Taylor Ricketts. Kind of shook her head. I don't know why. Just as if to say, boy, 7th inning, and she's still throwing it hard and on the black away. 2-2. In the air, back over the screen. Lepofsky 1 strike away from delivering big time for her team. If she can get this last out, somebody's going to have to beat Grand Valley twice tomorrow. Swing and a miss, and the Lakers win it. That's the 10th strikeout of the game as Ricketts went for the off-speed delivery, and Lepofsky turns in another pitching gem. 1 hit, 10 strikeouts, and Grand Valley scores early. A run in the 1st, a run in the 2nd. The game-winning RBI coming off the bat of Lydia Goebel, a sacrifice fly in the 1st. But 2 heavyweights in Division II softball go at it here, and last year's national champions fall to this year's national championship aspirant, the Grand Valley Lakers. So Grand Valley is done for the day. They'll be back here tomorrow. They'll have 2 chances to win 1 game to advance to the regional finals. Southern Indiana now has to fight its way back after the Hillsdale-Wayne State game. The winner of that one will play the Screaming Eagles later this afternoon. So that'll do it for our Game 1 broadcast. I want to invite you to be back with us here at around 1:30 this afternoon for Wayne State and Hillsdale. Until then, for our entire broadcast crew, which includes our producer-director, Nick Smith, I'm Tom Cleary. Thanks for being with us today in 2nd round action at the NCAA Division II Softball Regional in Allendale at Grand Valley State University. It's Grand Valley 2, Southern Indiana 0.